Hello, everyone. This is Linda Drummond with Network in Action. And today I have the privilege of speaking with Steve Alexander. Steve, how's it going?
I am doing great, Linda. Thank you for asking.
Awesome. All right, Steve, let's tell everybody your company name and what it is that you do.
Sure. So the company name is SOAR Health Advisors. And what we do, we assist folks with their healthcare planning, whether that is as simple as putting together a plan for an individual, whether that's as complicated as putting in a plan for a business. We do healthcare planning from A to Z.
That is wonderful. Now, Steve, that's sort of a unique field. How did you get into this business?
So that's a great question, Linda. So back in 2012, so I've been doing this a little over a decade. Unfortunately, I had a family member who was near and dear to my heart that had a health event. At the time, I didn't really have anyone in my network that I could refer that person to. So I took it upon myself to learn all of the ins and outs. The person, probably the most important person, if not, top two people in my life. It was my mom, and she unfortunately had suffered a stroke, a very, you know, tragic one, which it almost ended her life. But I was able to learn the different components of healthcare planning, making sure that my mom was taken care of, and then off of that came other folks who reached out and said, "Hey, can you help me as well?" And I just kind of continued that plan. So, fortunately, my mom is doing way better than she was in 2012. And the right health insurance makes a huge difference. She was able to get the therapy she needed and the help that she desperately seeked out.
Yeah, I'm sorry that that happened, but I'm glad that you turned
Yes.
the lemons into lemonade, as they say.
Yes.
So, Steve, since you've been doing this for a while and you did so much research, I'm sure you have another success story you wouldn't mind sharing.
Yeah, sure. So one of the success stories I love to share are for folks who have come to me and they were going to potentially have to pay a penalty. For those folks that are aware, the Centers for Medicare and Medicaid Services, if you don't have it planned properly, you can get hit with a penalty for life. So whether that is you don't have a prescription drug plan, whether you didn't sign up for Medicare in time. There's a lot of different layers, and that's what my team and I help to sort out and to explain and get for folks to help understand that stuff. And so I had a client that came to me, she had retired and she never had her Part D in place, which you have to have Part D. There was a law that went into effect back in 2006 that if you don't have it, then now you'll get a penalty. So her penalty was going to be pretty high. And through an appeals process that took about, I'd say, 4 months, I was able to get her penalty waived for her, which ended up saving her a minimum of $10,000, maybe even more.
Wow, that is definitely a success story. So, Steve, why don't you explain to us what would be a really good referral for you?
Yeah, that's a great question. So for me, a great referral would be someone that's simply looking for their answers for health insurance questions. So whether it is we are able to help them and get business or not, we really want to be a resource for folks. So I would say a great referral if it's someone who is it's a student who is going to college and they have to have health insurance. If it is that individual who starts running into some health issues and they're like, I don't even know where to turn. I've never had health insurance before. Whether it's a business owner that's thinking, I've always wanted to offer more employee benefits. Let me start with something simple. Maybe let me just offer a disability plan to my employees or just something along dental, something very simple and not too cost prohibitive. So all of those are great referrals. Of course, we deal with larger companies. Some of my largest companies are in the hundreds. And typically what we consider ourselves in that realm, we're benefit solutions consultants. And what we help to do, we help for that company to plan to reduce their cost because that's there's companies that have come to me before where maybe they were paying $50,000 a month or these really, really large amounts, and we've helped to scale those costs back with proper planning and still making sure that their employees are covered.
Wow, that's awesome.
Yeah.
So, when you're not helping people and companies with their benefits, what do you like to do for fun?
That is very good question. So I like long walks on the beach and just joking on that one. I'm definitely a bit of a geek, so I love historical programs. I was fortunate to work for one of the largest banks in the US, which is Bank of New York, for almost 10 years. And when I worked up in New York, they granted us a membership to any museum you wanted to go
Oh, wow.
to. They fund the arts a lot. So whether it was Modern Museum of Art, whether it was no matter what museum in New York, you could essentially go there at no cost. So I absolutely love the arts. I love just learning. I consider myself a lifelong student. So yeah, that would be one of my pastimes. I'm also a big time chess player, so a bit of a geek when it comes
Oh,
to that question.
wow. Well, I'm impressed, and I love the fact that your company did a an art museum gift because it can get expensive. And I'm with you. I love going to the museum, but it does rack up the cost periodically. So, all
Yeah.
right. So, Steve, finally, if somebody has listened and they think, I know somebody that needs him to help, how can they reach out to you?
Yeah. Another good question. The best way is via a text. If you reach out and you text me at my cell phone number, which is 407-274-2018. You can also email me if you have something that's a little bit more lengthy that you didn't want to share over a text message. So you can email me at Steve at custommedicaresolutions.com. I'll spell that out. STEVE at CUSTOMMEDICARESOLUTIONS.com.
Wonderful. Well, Steve, it has been such a pleasure speaking with you. And I wish you the
Same.
absolute best of luck and welcome to Network in Action. And
Thank you so much, Linda. I'm really looking forward to networking.
well, great. Well, I hope you have a fantastic day.
You as well.